Well, at that time in the early 60s, I think our classes were small and we had more time to deal with a lot of things, talk to the lecturers, enjoy ourselves, which we should. Less stress as compared as opposed to the current time, and we enjoyed our lessons, our discussions, and we were able to talk very freely. The campus was quite big, so also enjoy going around looking at places. In fact, there was a fish pond down the road where we used to spend our time looking to see whether there were fishers, any fishermen, but nobody, just a pond and a big field to wander around. After I left the university, I joined the government civil service. I was posted first to the Ministry of Law, land office basically, and then to communications, and then finance, and finally in trade industry. Well, during the time when I was in the Ministry of Communications, we had discussions with the Malaysian government. At that time, our airlines was separated, Singapore Airlines and they have the Malaysian Airlines, and that discussion was very hard negotiations. But I learned one thing very much from that negotiations, is that when we were negotiating on the table, everybody took a very hard stand, refused to give way. So one day we decided that why don't we just have a break and have lunch. Surprising, during lunch we agreed on everything. We came back, okay, we have agreed, right? Just confirm what the agreement the points that we have agreed on, and then there you are. We managed to get it, and it was a very heated negotiations before that. We were led, our team was led by Mr. Nyam Tong Dao, I think one of your recipients also, the POMSEC at the time of the Ministry of Communications. So that was an interesting episode. Obviously, when I went over to trade industry, I was looking at consumer protection, among other things. So we had a good trip to Australia to study the acts and laws of the protection. But after that, I left the service. I went down to the unions. Well, now the main problem is inflation. Every other speech in Parliament, if you've been listening to the last budget speeches, first thing is cost of living. How do we help the lower workers? Training our workers. These are big things now. And you have to really have ways to help people to train. Just don't say, I teach you, you learn this. You must see how you develop the enthusiasm for learning. Well, for the younger self, basically they have to recognize that it's going to be a really competitive world. So they may have to make adjustments, and they will have to check what they think is best for themselves. I understand some people don't want to go to work, but they want to work for themselves. And the new technology represents a challenge for them, a big challenge for them, because it gets developing very fast. Taking GPC as a thing, it's changing so fast. Now students can use ChatGPT to answer their school questions or even take exams. Now whether that's right or wrong, somebody will have to advise them. And there's opportunities present, but it's going to be a tougher world. Where for the workers, inflation, main question now, cost of housing, we're getting very competitive. It's tough, but if they put their mind at the right places and are prepared to learn and relearn, I think it should be okay. You've been doing well for the last 40 years, and every time there's always a problem of recession in in the middle of the 80s, we had to have a pay cut. And the unions led the pay cut movement. We have convinced the workers you got to take a pay cut, reduce the CPF rates. Not easy, but in the end they got it back. And then in the early 2020s, there was also another recession. A lot of jobs were lost. And some of the problems are that when they go for training, they learn the new skills, particularly the older workers. They come out, they say, I cannot go to another job. I'm still here. What did I learn? Well, on the other hand, I mentioned to you just now, housewives go to learn how to cook. And they cook their own cakes and do some small home business. So there are challenges, but there are also opportunities. Basically, that's my main point is that, well, there is a hard work, it's going to be difficult, challenges, very competitive, but there are a lot of opportunities now, much better than there was before. You know, with your home unit, your own computer unit, you can even create businesses.